Okay, a very good morning to everyone. Today's class is about PTS-6. This is the second class, and like last class, we have discussed about how to write, especially how to prepare a project report, and we have already discussed about how to go about it. But here there are few some points which we need to know. As I have mentioned, like you have to complete the project report within 3 to 4,000 words. But before that, you have to prepare a proposal, and that proposal, that is a synopsis, which is also known as the synopsis. The synopsis has to be first it has to be approved by the supervisor, which will be, and once the supervisor approves the project proposal, then it has to be sent to the coordinator. Okay, so first thing, we need to have a theme, which is very essential. And once the theme is, we get the theme, we can go ahead with the project, the topic basically. So, like right now, we are, first how to get about writing, like how would you prepare your proposal? Proposal should be in within 400 words, as I have mentioned, but the project report should be within 4,000 to 5,000 words. So, first thing is that you need to identify your theme. That is very, very important. Identifying your theme is very important. Then we have to collect data. Then at the same time, you need to analyze data, and you have to write your project, and then you have to submit the project report. Okay. So, and then the evaluation takes place. And so, since this is a project report which we will be doing on tourism marketing. So tomorrow we will discuss about the topics, but today we will discuss, how to collect data, how to analyze the little bit, how to analyze the data, then how to writing your project, and you have to refer books, journals, and all. So you have to also mention the name of the books, the journal. You have to at the conclusion, after the conclusion, there is reference. So you have to mention like which author has quoted this, from which chapter or from which book you have taken the health assistance, and also that has to be very much should be properly mentioned at the reference which comes after the. So let's come about tourism marketing, because you have to comment, you have to observe and comment upon the management, and suppose management and functioning of a tourist agency. What the problems involved in the running of a hotel or a restaurant, or on general issues related to the presence of outside tourists in your area, or a general profile of the tourist coming to your town. As I told you, suppose if you take the example of tourism marketing, and that tourism marketing can be, the destination you want to promote a destination at your location. So while promoting a destination, what are the functions of a travel agency or the tourist agency. Then you have to also you have to get a questionnaire, you have to find the informations about the destination. Then the profile of the tourist, that is, descriptive analysis you have to do, like the type of guests who are visiting those places. Then what are the problems involved in the running a hotel or a restaurant in a particular destination, or what are the facilities you have. First you have to always focus on the facilities that is there. Then there are the drawbacks and all. So you have to collect all the feedback from the tourists. Suppose you take a destination in your area, you have to take the feedback of the tourists, and you have to also collect the general profile of the tourist coming to your town. So in short, whatever theme you identify, first is the theme has to be identified, and it is very much directly linked towards the particular area of the study. and your working aptitude in pursuing the project. As I have told you, you should not take it lightly because this is a very, a project which would help you later on. Okay, so you have to, because this is a practical. See, as I told you, in theory papers, what you do, you read the subjects, then you submit assignments, then you sit for writing the exam, you clear the exam. But in this case, you have to do a practical, you have to undergo a practical experience, so which is very necessary. So in that case, you have to directly have a discussion with the stakeholders of the particular destination when you want to promote a destination. So after identifying the area of your interest, you should discuss it with your supervisor and decide the topic you want to work upon. 1 minute. Okay. Kabiru, is it visible? Can you see me?
Good morning, ma'am.
Uh, how are you? How are you? Can you see me? Is it
I'm good, ma'am.
Kabiru? Okay. So Kabiru, is the PPT visible?
No, it is not visible.
Oh, it is not visible. No, actually, it's a PDF
Yes,
file.
no, it is.
But
Yeah, it is no,
is it
it's not
visible?
visible. It's visible.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, oh, wait, then wait. I thought it was visible. Wait 1 minute. Huh? Let me try once again. 1 minute. Huh? Um,
Okay.
share screen. Is it visible now? Is it visible now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It is visible.
It's visible, no? Okay, 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 fine,
Yes.
fine. So I was wondering, huh? I was wondering whether it's visible or not. Okay. So, as I've mentioned, after identifying the area of your interest, you should discuss it with your supervisor and decide the topic you want to work upon. Okay, now you have to prepare a proposal, basically, like about which you have already learned. As I've told you, the proposal basically is the proposal should not exceed more than 400 words, and in that proposal, basically, it is a summary. Okay, proposal means summary, but you have to get it um, it should be you have to send it to your supervisor, and he should acknowledge that that topic is right or wrong, whatever. So that is, it has to be signed by the supervisor, but it should not, in a summary, whatever you want to do, what you want to undergo, you can also you can mention. So prepare a proposal about which you have already learned. Now we would however like to emphasize here that sometimes preparing a proposal is a very important stage in your project work. For example, if you suppose, if you take a topic, okay, you have some topic in your mind. As I told you, you have to fill up all the details in the appendix, but somehow you are unable to um, you are unable to give the detailed information. So suppose you have already decided about a topic, then you get it signed, approved from your supervisor. But after some time, you think that this topic is not suitable for you. You want to change the topic. So that is not possible. Okay, that is very important. So that is the reason I wanted to say that you should be very careful while preparing a proposal. That take 1 minute. One sec. While preparing a proposal. So you, once you are sure that this is your topic and you don't want to make any changes, you can go ahead. So it is a very important stage in your project. Therefore, do not get unnecessary worried if you find that this stage has taken up a longer time than originally scheduled. Okay. Yes. What I was telling you. Yes, what I was telling you, you have to prepare the topic properly, and once you prepare the topic properly, you have to ensure that you stick to that particular topic, because the project, when you prepare the project, it would be 3,000, it would be 4,000 to 5,000 words. Okay, I think yesterday I mentioned, but you have to summarize that first. So how would you carry out, what how would you collect? First you have should have the topic. You would take 3 months to complete it. Then how would you collect the data? So everything you have to summarize and write in that proposal. So it should not be more than 400 words. And sometimes writing a proposal would take long time, so you have to be very careful while ensuring that it is being properly written, so that it will be accepted. Okay, so that is how. So don't, so therefore do not worry if you think, no, this stage, writing a proposal is taking too much time. You don't take, because this is basically the proposal, you can see it is a summary. So in that 400 words you have to mention what are the uh, how would you go ahead with the topic. So you have to be very careful. Now coming to the collecting data. Okay, so collecting data, please remember, it is the most important stage of your project work, because it provides all the sources that you'll eventually need while writing your project. Because see, this data, how would you collect? See, there are two types. One is the primary and another is the secondary. So in case of primary data, you have to ensure that you have you have read quite a few papers, research papers. It can be book chapters from edited books. It can also be chapters from books, concerned topic. Then souvenirs and journals, magazines. So you have to, from wherever information you need collect, you have to also acknowledge them. How would you acknowledge that? You would acknowledge at the reference, that we'll discuss later on. But before that, first you should get all from where you need to collect you. See, only but don't try to copy from the Google. Okay, because what happen if you try collecting from the Google, it will be showing the plagiarism. So kindly don't. Yes, you can always take help from the Google search, and you get information which books, from where you can write the topic, and from where you can get the informations. You can visit the nearby libraries or some magazines or some you know journals. And as I told you, you can also visit your, like, tourism department of your uh, location. So they would help you to give all the information. So collecting data is a very important stage of your project work, because it provides excuse me, because it provides all the sources that you'll eventually need while writing your project. Okay, then data collection begins after your topic has been identified and approved by your supervisor. As I told you, initially you don't start the supervisor, but you can mention in your, this is the topic, little bit in introduction. Today, not today, tomorrow I'll show you a synopsis, then you'll come to know. Okay, what happened, first you need to, you can write this is the topic, a little bit introduction about that topic. Then these are the methods you will be collecting informations from books, from magazines, and also from journals. And you will also, those are known as secondary data collection. And primary, you will interact with the local, you'll interact with the tourists and get the information. So that is how you have to proceed. So, but that is, data collection is only possible. Don't do the data collection, but you can write in the synopsis. Ki this is the, we'll be collecting the data. Like it would include primary sources of data as well as secondary sources of data. And primary sources would include magazines and books. And primary would include 1 minute, huh? One second. Hmm. So yes, so you can mention that primary data. You can always primary data. You'd interact with the tourist or the visitors, and secondary data that would be collecting information from secondary data would be to and secondary data would be to get information from the primary data would be to collect information from the tourists or the visitors visiting that place, and secondary data would be from magazines and journals. But it is in fact a very rigorous process, so you have to be very careful on this issue. Okay, so the exact nature of your data collection depends on your theme. That is how you proceed. However, certain points need to be kept in mind, because it is always better to over collect than under collect your material. Okay, see what does it mean? You have to have more information, you have to have more data. Okay, whether it's from primary sources or whether it's from secondary sources, you have to have informations. Okay, so eventually it is only half of it, and sometimes even less than that, which is utilized directly in your report. So you should have uh, at least 20 papers. I'm just telling you, not 20, even 10 papers, like 10 to 15. But you may not use the 10 to 15 papers, but you should download. You should download all those papers, I mean research papers, and then which would help you how to prepare them. Project report, as well as how to prepare the synopsis. So you'll have an idea. So it's not that necessary you will get all the informations from the 15 papers that you have downloaded, but you should utilize them. So don't think, oh, I have downloaded 15 papers, but I can use all these. You need not. You download 15 papers, you go through them, you may utilize excuse me, 10 to papers from there. But you should always see, but every piece of information collected at this stage contributes to your knowledge of tourism studies. So whatever information you get, that would help you to contribute to your knowledge of the tourism studies. That is very important. And do not get overwhelmed. Overwhelmed by the volume of data, and do not therefore leave opportunities of data collection or put it off for another day. You may not get the same opportunity again. Okay, as I told you, it is very important. You can always add it in your CVs and all. So your sources, whether in the form of books, documents, sites, or people, may not be always available to you. That is very important. Okay, so you have to be very careful. Okay, now now some thinking, assisting, screening, and monitoring are crucial in data collection. See, right now you need not worry about the data collection. So charge me, charge me. Okay. Certain oh, yes. Mm. So, certain principles of selection and development of a framework in which to operate are as useful before you begin the work of data collection as they are during the process. You have to collect samples of the response. Then do spend some time in preparing a questionnaire. Yeah, that is very important. You have to prepare the questionnaire also. That is very important. And yes, how would you prepare the questionnaire? In that case, you can consult your supervisor or speak to the experts in the field and do some literature. So, see, what I mean to say, you have to prepare a questionnaire that comes later on. But yes, that how to do the questionnaire, I can tell you tomorrow. But today, see, tomorrow is the third class, and in between we'll have around 3 to 4 days gap, and the last class is on third. So tomorrow, what I'll do, I'll get a paper, I'll show it to you, and you can go through that paper. And I mean 3 4 papers you can download and show you a sample copy. So in the meantime you can always select your topic, okay. And as I told you, as I've mentioned, you can get all the informations from IGNO, like will be your supervisor, okay. So consult your supervisor or any expert and read some literature. As I told you, second chapter is all about literature review. What do you mean by literature review? First chapter will be all about introduction, the topic. You should have some information about that topic, why it is important, why are you making the study, what is the scope of the study, how relevant it is. You have to get some normal introduction. After that, you have to do the literature review. Literature review in the sense the topic you have chosen, you know there are some other authors who have not similar but other authors. Suppose you are doing a study on a destination A, okay. Destination A, but there are some other authors who have done study on destination B, C, D. So once you read those papers, then you will have an idea how to proceed. So that is what is literature review is all about. You have to uh, review the literature, okay. You have to read the literature, then you will come to know. Then you have to quote, you have to quote those other authors what they have mentioned. That is very important. Acha. Then your questionnaire should evolve out of all this. See, once you go through this literature review, then you will be automatically you will be knowing how to prepare the questionnaire. So the kind of answers you get in your questionnaire will depend to a very large extent on the questions you ask. See, as I told you, this is, you are very new to it. So unless and until you read some papers related to that topic, again I am saying, you need to read papers related to that topic. Then you will come to know how to go through it. That is what is very important. Then, and of course, the time spent on this exercise will save you from landing into many problems later on. It is very important, that you have to read the literature review, because unless and until you read the literature review, you won't have an idea. So once you read the literature review, you will come to know, like, how the paper is being framed. That is, Kabiru, I have sent you some papers. Did you go through that? Mm, Kabiru,
Yes, ma'am.
I've sent you some. So at least I think 4 or 5 papers I have sent you. That was on that is on, I think, artificial intelligence and technology
Yes,
used
ma'am.
in the hospitality and tourism industry.
Hospitality
So
industry.
there are,
Yes.
sorry. So
I mean
that
the
is
impact of
why I have
AI.
sent you.
Yeah,
The
the impact
impact
of
of
AI
AI
in
on
the
the hospitality.
yes, ma'am.
Hospitality and tourism industry, yes. So see,
Yes.
each paper is different from one, because this project is basically something new. You don't copy. Again I am saying, you don't have to copy. You have to do something new where you can contribute to the knowledge of tourism study. That is what is very important. But if you wanted to contribute something new, you have to see what others have done in this field. So once you have an idea, then only you can contribute on your own. So you don't copy and paste, but yes, whatever papers you have downloaded, you have to quote all those papers in your project report. Okay. In synopsis, you need not. Tomorrow I'll show you the synopsis. Okay. So in that you need not do, but yes, otherwise you have to get it done, okay. So if you want to suppose, yes, that is one thing. Now we are talking about collecting data. So when we talk about collecting data, we have to first prepare a questionnaire. Then after preparing the questionnaire, you have to get all the informations, I mean distribute those questionnaire to the customers or to the tourists or the visitors, and then you can collect those and you have to code it and then you have to do the analysis one. So otherwise, if you want to organize a group meeting, then selection of people, representation of cross sections, and preparation by you of questions, statement, and interventions in the debate will be useful. Okay, your ability to record or put down on paper various viewpoints and arguments will enable you to store material, because once you read this paper you have to put down, what are the important points, you should note it down. See, like making notes in this, in colleges, we used to make notes. Make notes means what happens? Suppose a teacher used to say a bit, I mean, discuss about a topic. But if you wanted to score good marks, you have to consult different books and all, which used to go to the library. But nowadays, hardly people go to the library. They get all the informations from the Google. Okay, they download books also. They go to the YouTubes and they find out different magazines. Then they can download papers from journals like Scopus journals, Web of Science, and all these. Okay, UGC journals, and also you have to download these papers. Now, and you have to sometimes what happens here, it's written, it's mentioned, remember these group meetings may not always proceed as you plan originally. If it so happens, do not be disheartened. Now see, you have, suppose you have, for example, you have prepared, you have framed a questionnaire with around 20 questionnaires, okay, and 20 questions are there in your questionnaire, and you have distributed to 60 visitors. Out of that 60 visitors, 60 won't fill it up. And even if you 60 are, I mean, it is distributed, even if 60 fills up, some of them will, may not fill up all the questions. So out of 60, maybe 50 would give you the full information. Whatever questionnaire were there, they have, answered. So you have to take, so you can mention in your project report that you have distributed 60 questionnaires, but only 50 you could keep a track of 50. I mean, you have you have done the analysis on 50. Okay, so that's basically your, you can say, your sample. Sample is like how many respondents were there. So you can say your sample is 50. You can mention like you have distributed questionnaires to 60 people, but 60 people, but 50 of them have given you the questionnaire, I mean replied to your questionnaire. So the sample is 50 respondents. So spontaneous and unanticipated response are often very useful material, that also you'll come to know. Now, the important principle is through homework, so that you approach your sources fully prepared and equipped intellectually and psychologically. See, another thing I just wanted to say you, there's you can do survey, like there is like, Google Forms. You know what is a Google Form? Kabiru, any idea what is a Google Form?
Yes, ma'am. I am aware of Google Form. I use Google Form for my, I can say, to share
Hmm.
with my student
Okay.
for an online exams or something like that, or CA assessment, for
Yes, very good. Ah, ah. So online, so assessment, very good.
example.
Yes. So what happened nowadays? You need not distribute people, like openly, fill up the form. You just collect their email ID, or if they are in a group, WhatsApp group or something, to your friends or something, you can just send the Google form to them. Suppose you have some friends, first you have to prepare the Google form, that is the questionnaire, and you can send it to respondents to their email. Sorry, one, you can send the questionnaire to the respondents through email or through question or through WhatsApp. So there's a format, you just only have to click it. So once they are being sent, it is being filled up, they'll send it to, then you can do the analysis. See, everything has become so easy. You did not do anything, like you need not do the coding. All apps are there, for whatever software is there, apps are there. So similarly, if you don't like, I know Kaberu knows, and lot of questionnaire also comes to us. WhatsApp group, they are doing some studies or something. So it is being sent to us so that we fill it up, and once it is filled up, submitted, and let's say thank you, it is being submitted properly. So that is you can also do through the questionnaire. That will come on later part. Okay, but you should know all this. So. Classification and cataloging of data will help you to make an effective use of your material later. You should note the date and place, etc. of the interviews taken if you wanted to take a survey. Okay, and maintaining separate files of different kinds of sources will help later at the time of writing your report. So whatever, see, you just start writing, you have a copy or you have take a diary, and and you keep on writing. Every day you write something, even if you write one page or something, whatever information. See, after 20, after 2 months, you see lot of informations you have collected. So you can now you put them in proper way, which will come on introduction, which will come on literature review. Then how was your question? It would be easier for you to frame the question. Then you can do analyzing the data, as I have told you. With the help of Excel sheet, you can analyze the data. Kabiri, do you know how to, are you, I mean, I think you are good with Excel, Microsoft Excel. Are you able to, I mean, charts and all you
Yes,
can
ma'am.
do, otherwise also you are expert in doing. Huh?
Very nice, ma'am. I can do that. I'm expert in that, ma'am.
Okay, very good, very good. See, so it would be very easy. Only you have to put all the informations. So now I'll take class from you. Okay, so that is, so you can put all the informations and everything, whether it's through pie chart or bar chart and all. It's very easy, but you have to do it very sincerely. What I mean to say,
Yet it is
don't
easy.
do for the just
There
sake
are
of
some
it.
there are
Yeah.
some packages that I use for data analysis as well. I
There
can
are
say
some.
there are some packages that I use for data analysis as well. Yes, like Power BI. It is also a
Okay.
powerful tool for analyzing data.
Okay. Okay.
Power BI.
Okay,
Yes,
okay,
and there are a
okay,
lot.
okay, good. You
It
send
depends
some.
on the
Okay, very good. It depends on the
yeah. It
one
depends
minute.
on the data
No,
that you
it
are
depends on.
just going to
Hmm.
analyze. On the data you are to analyze.
Hmm. Yes, yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Very good. So you have an idea. So it's easier for you. So only you have to analyze the data. That is very important because collect. The thing is, see, analyzing data is not a very tough job because with the help of Microsoft Excel, you have only difficult task is you have to collect the sources. I mean, data from which are the sources that you have to think about and plan accordingly and act accordingly. Plan and act accordingly. So once you have a proper questionnaire, you can send it to your friends, and as Kabiru knows it so easy, then you can put it in the Excel sheet, and automatically the figures will come out. You don't do have to do much calculations because everything is there in Excel. So you can do with the help of Excel. There are other softwares also, like SPSS is there, then SCM, all this. A lot of softwares are there which does the, but Excel is the best. I mean, because all the once you do the data, whatever, like statistics is very important. Whenever you are doing any survey and all, statistical data which gives you the output, what is the result. So that is very important. So that comes at the end, but you have to concentrate. Initial work you have to really focus on. That is collecting the data. See, analyzing the data may not in all the cases exist as a separate stage, but it often overlaps with the earlier and later stages. So, first thing is you collect the first you should know your sources and you should collect it. So, after analyzing is not a very difficult task. Okay, and analysis of your source material begins immediately after you have started collecting data. Of course, once you collect the data, then you can do the analysis of. And analyzing data also requires maintaining constant interaction with your source material, developing different ways in which to look at your data, applying different interpretations to it, and finally translating your material into a set of arguments around which your report should be written. So it is while going through your material again and again that you become clear about the various aspects of the theme which you are doing investigating. Okay, always remember whenever you are unable to understand anything, whether it's a research paper or any article, you should first you read it, you are unable to understand. Don't worry, you read two times, you read three times. So when you read three to four times, then you'll understand it. That is what happens. So basically, this project is, it's not a very fast thing. You have to do it very diligently. You have to do it very perfectly. That is what is required. So it requires a little bit, tremendous effort. That what needs. Okay, and this helps you in building your argument. So you have to justify. As I told you, you have to do something new. So what new will do? You'll do the new only when someone has not yet invented or you wanted to do something. So there should be something little bit. So it would not only help you. I mean, it would also benefit you in many ways. I mean, as well as the society also. Okay. So remember, your data can be in the form of written records. It can also be in articles, then recorded interviews. Nowadays, it's so important. You can like record the interview and send it. That also you can send the questionnaire, and you can also collect recorded interviews. So you can also mention your own diary. You can see the observations, then questionnaires as I've mentioned. Then you can also go through different reports of the government. I told you, like for India's, if you wanted to know any information about India, you can always go through the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India. You should download that. You should go through it, and you have a lot of information, and you'll see at the end, right, whether how many visitors, how many domestic tourists had visited our country, which state the maximum, which state the lowest, how much international visitors have visited our country, and which country, from which country the maximum international tourists were there. That is one part. Then about fairs, about exhibitions, about festivals, about you just name them and you'll find anything related to tourism. Our Ministry of Tourism, that website is very well, and you go through and you'll get lot of informations. And not only that, they have projected everything, in like in through statistics, through different types of charts, and also you'll come to know. That's very important. So uh, you will have to, in other words, you will have access to material collected from a variety of sources. So try to collect information as much as you can. And why I always write from the very beginning, the classes when I was taking your other classes like TS1. I've taken your Kabiru, I've taken your TS1 class, right? I've taken the class TS1 as
Yes,
TS5
ma'am.
also,
Yes, ma'am.
ecology and
You have
environment. Yeah,
taken TS1.
ecology and
Yes.
environment. Yes. So, so I always emphasize that since you are a student of the Gandhi National Open University, New Delhi, so you should know about our India cultures and all, And as India has a varied culture, it's known for its, customs, like the festivals, everything you name, and it is there. About UNESCO heritage sites and all. So festivals and right from flora, fauna, destinations and all. So you have an idea, and you should know also because you are a student of this university. So an Indian university. So you should know about India also, or your country also. You should, and you should sometimes share also, because nowadays we have all these links and all. I always, you might have seen, I always wanted to show you through important magazines, or whether it is newspapers or whether it's YouTube. You can always the links, you can always mention in your reference, like what are the, so others will also come to know. Suppose in the reference you have mentioned a link which I am not aware of, or the reader is not aware of. Once you go through this, you will have an information. This done through here. Okay, so uh, as you sort them out, you realize that they contain facts and information on the one hand and impressions and opinions on the other. Quite often, the two may be at variance with each other and present a very complex and somewhat self-contradictory picture of things. See, sometimes you'll find they are not matching, and all, so you don't worry. These all adversities will be there, but you go ahead with your project. That is what is important. So while retaining the complexity, that is to say, not simplifying it unnecessarily, you have to avoid making your report appear contradictory. You don't. You should make it such a way that these are the observations, these are the solutions, but at the same time there are also some limitations. Okay, that limitations can be replaced, but you project it such a way to these are the limitations. If this when possible or when feasible or possible, it could have done in a better manner. Now, then you can do this by distinguishing facts from opinions and making sure that other people's judgment do not appear as your own. So, there are a lot of facts and figures. What is very important. What do you mean by this statistics? You have a lot of facts and figures. So, you have to justify that facts and figures. This is very important. Now, while scanning the data, for example, you may find that an official document on a particular monument may be very different from popular versions about the same monument. So, in another case, for instance, media's handling of the environmental issues may not correspond with your own discoveries in your region. Sometimes what happens, you will find that whatever information you have collected that will not match with the information a paper written by some different author. So it will because every time it keeps on changing. Data is the data stays for maximum and it can be validity is there. So for tomorrow the data will change day after tomorrow. So when you are writing doing your project, that whatever data you collect, it should be properly validated. And of course, maybe after 6 months you are doing another project or the same, then the validity may change also. So you have to whatever information you have collected, you should have proper facts and figures to justify those statements, right? So in such situation, you will have to record your own impressions without being dismissive or unfaithful to other versions. Now coming to writing your report. So having collected and analyzed your data, it is now time for you to start writing. Writing is very important, and needless to say, you should first narrative and finally write or type your report. So you have to basically type a report. Acha, Kabiru, I have a question. These assignments, how you write the assignments? You, Kabiru, are you there?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Hmm. Hmm. How do
Regarding
you go?
regarding the
How
assignment,
you write the assignment? Uh-huh.
ma'am, regarding the
How
assignment,
how you do?
our
You just
dashboard is not
uh,
it's not yet updated, and we have sent them. I can say I have sent an email regarding the assignment, so I cannot be able to find the questions, and my email is yet to be responded. So I don't know how can I can they get the assignment. I mean the
no no
present
other, but
semester, we don't have the assignment because we have no.
no, I'm not okay. I'm not talking about the present. I'm talking about the previous one. Previous one assignments you have done.
Okay,
So
the
how you
previous one, yes,
submitted
I
it?
have
Huh?
written the assignment. The first one, yeah, I submitted the assignment via the dashboard that we have, via the platform we have
Dashboard
been
means you
given
have to type it
in
out,
this the
or
manual.
you have to.
Yes, I type it.
No, no,
I
you have.
typed it, ma'am.
Oh, you okay. Otherwise, it is like that you have to write on a piece of paper. You scan it and send it. That option is also there.
Yes, the
No,
option
only
was
you have
there.
to type it. option is there,
No,
no? Yes.
we
Uh,
have two options. Either you type it or you just make it handwritten.
hmm. Either you type it or you have to make a handwritten, you have to scan it and then upload it, right? That is how you do.
Yes, ma'am. That's right.
Uh, so, okay, but that is for assignments actually. But for the reports, now, what you have to do, you have to prepare a hard, matlab, you have to type it. What I mean to say, you have to type it, and and of course it should be in English only with pictures, facts, figures, and all that has to be there. It should contain, okay, and in assignment you just have written like 1,000 words, 500 words, 200 words, 100 words and all. This is like total, it should be 4,000 to 5,000 words, and with facts, figures, pictorials, it should be pictorial. Okay, that is what is important. You have to type it. That what is very important. Your report. Okay, so don't start typing. You should, as I told you, you should have a copy. You should jot down the important points, and once everything is being done, then you can type it. Okay, so it should be like, usually what we used to do, we used to do a hardbound copy, like two copies. One copy is to send to the coordinator, and one copy is to keep it for ourselves. For you it is different. So you have to, I think you have to type it like 4 to 5,000 words, and you have to upload there. I think after that it will be evaluated. So and your narrative you have to write in English.
Ma'am,
That
how
is
many words, ma'am?
normal.
How many words?
Huh? Yesterday I told
How
you it has
many?
to be 4,000 words. 4,000,
Four
four
hundred,
thousand to
four
5,000
thousand.
words. Mm. I
Okay,
have
okay,
mentioned
noted,
on my
ma'am.
PPT yesterday. What you
Yes,
do,
ma'am.
you I'll share all these PPTs with you, okay? So you can check once again, okay? There is a, see, you have to, the synopsis should be 400 words. What do you mean by synopsis or the proposal? Basically, the synopsis or proposal is 1 minute. The synopsis, one. The synopsis or the proposal is basically the summary, which is 400 words. I'm repeating, the synopsis or the summary is, that is also known as proposal, should be 400 words. So you
Yes,
have
ma'am.
to send it to your supervisor.
Yes, I jotted
Okay.
that one
Uh,
yesterday. I have seen that the synopsis
uh,
should
uh,
be 400
so
words. And ma'am,
so one,
regarding
yes,
the
once
joining the group,
once it,
I mean the link. Can you hear me, please?
yes,
Hello.
tell me, uh, tell me
Okay.
regard.
My fellow student are trying to join the class, but they cannot be able to do so. I don't know if you can lady complain,
Oh, they cannot join.
because they
They are
have been
still
just
there.
complaining. They are still complaining in the
They are
group.
still
They
there, no?
cannot join. Yes, they are still complaining that they are in the group now discussing. Yes.
You can you just okay. After this class gets over, I will tell sir that tomorrow they should allow others. Actually, what happened? So you have, Savitri, you have PTS-6 and last first semester. Was it there in your? Uh,
Okay, okay.
was it there? Yes or no? Last first semester, it was there, no? This is for the fresh new ones, no? PTS-6 is for second semester, right? Hello.
Yes, ma'am. It is for second semester, PTS-6.
PTS-6. No, wait. I'll, after I take your class, I'll tell them, because how many students are there right now? How many are there? Only you. Only
Yes, I
you.
am the only one, ma'am.
No, this
So
Abdul
many of
Min also joined. Abdul Min was
Abdulmumin
also
Kabiru
there.
left recently. Yeah, he left.
Acha, acha. Okay, he was there, huh?
Yeah.
He's a new first semester, but he didn't attend a single class. That is what. See, whatever PPTs I am preparing, you keep those PPTs. You can go through, because in that I have mentioned everything. Like your report should be 4,000 to 5,000 words. See, I have mentioned in my first yesterday's class. I'll share with you. There, what are the topics, like identifying that first you should have the introduction, then you should have the literature review, Then you should have that research methodology, how you carried, then the analysis, all this, and last conclusion followed by um, important and on the last day I'll show you a project so you can end, but after that you can always contact me whenever you have any issues and all, because see your supervisor will be a different person, I don't know, but if you have any, if you have this ppts with you, you can at least go through, or otherwise if you have any questions and all, you can always let me know. Okay, so understood, Kabir? Is it is that answer your question? Hmm. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Uh, okay. So it should be 4,000 to 5,000 words. Okay. In my last yesterday's PPT, it was mentioned. So whatever responses you collect through a questionnaire as part of your data, you could also attach a copy of the questionnaire as well. Yes, that is also very important. See, your questionnaire should be well framed. Okay, and you know you should have those attachments also, like how you prepare, like you have a questionnaire, properly framed questionnaire, and that questionnaire you can attach at the in your report also. Okay, at the annexure, as an annexure. Okay, so use of illustrations, graphs and diagrams etc will depend on the nature of your thing. So you have to use graphs, diagrams, those are very important, figures. Okay, you use graphs, use diagrams, use figures, illustrations, everything you include. Make it little bit catchy, little bit it should be I mean, even a lame person can understand. That has to be there. And whenever, see, one thing you should remember, don't try to write too much, but you should, whatever you wanted to explain, you wanted to project, it should be through your graphs, diagrams. People don't have that much time to go through all the sentences and all. Like this is a general, a generic, statement I'm making. They don't go through. Of course, there are people who will go through, but yes, they won't go through in details. But once they find the figures and diagrams, they will then again start looking. They'll pay more attention. So you have to make it a little bit catchy in the sense. Okay, so there should be originality and clarity. Always ensure that there should be proper originality and clarity, because these were two vital components of your project. So originality and clarity, always ensure it's there. Okay, whatever you do, it should be very transparent, and that what matters. Remember, your project is a test of your analytical capacity and skills of your communication, and it is not just an exercise in recording your impressions and writing your story. You have to make it, as I told you, you have to make it very very catchy, so that people will get that, they have that, okay, he has given all the diagrams, they will feel attracted to go through it. Okay, don't write all normal things. Okay, so divide your report into sections and subsections. You know that, when you go through this research papers and all, you will come to know about different sections and subsections, that it would help you. Give and it gives a certain coherence to your report and prevents different ideas from spilling into different places. So a well structured um, report is easily comprehensible. Okay, and aims and objectives should therefore be stated very explicitly, even if there is some repetition. You wait. I'll talk to sir. I think there are many students who are waiting. Huh? Just wait there. Okay, 1 minute. Huh? Kaveri, you just wait. Huh? I think there are other students who are waiting.
Okay, ma'am.
Hmm. Kabiru, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. I'm there. Yes, ma'am.
So what happened? What I was telling you, you tell your students to join. I spoke to regional director, sir. So I told sir, you can because this is in semester two. You are in semester two, right?
Yes, ma'am. I now tell them
Hello.
they can
Uh,
rejoin. They can rejoin
you
now. I
tell them
tell
I
them.
told them to join because this is very important. They should also have some questions. So I have told them we'll okay, okay then. Huh?
Yes, I told them, ma'am.
I have already spoken to regional director, sir. Okay, now again I have to share that 1 minute. Is it visible now?
Yes,
Is it
ma'am. It's
visible?
visible.
Okay. So I told you, like divide your report into sections and subsections, which are very important, and it gives a certain coherence to your report and prevents different ideas from spilling into different places. Okay. So a well-structured report is easily comprehensible. So it should be properly well-structured. That is what is very important. And yes, what I just forgot, I don't know, you should mention the aims and objectives. First should be your introduction, then it should be literature review, because when you go through various literature review you will find out the gap. Gap means what is the lacunae. You suppose you read 20 papers related to how to promote a destination. Okay, so in that or promote a flora and fauna of a particular place, but then you realize that others haven't they have done destinations on various places in your locality, but they haven't done on this particular destination because it's a new place. Okay, so that is a gap, so you have to find that gap and your study should be on that particular. And second thing, you should always mention the aims and objectives. Aims and objectives means what is your aim. So don't make four or five, don't make too many objectives. Means don't make 5 to 6 objectives. You limit your aims and objectives to 2 to 3, right? Is it clear? Wait. 1 minute. Kabiru, you saw the? Yes, Ahmad Musa has joined. How are you, Ahmad?
Yes,
Yes. See, tell your Kabiru, you ensure that all your other students of your batch they join this, right? I have told
yes,
sir,
ma'am.
so tomorrow he
I
will
told
tell him.
I shared with them. I shared with them in the group that they can join now, and they have
Uh-huh.
started.
It was not shared with you. I don't know why. Anyway, I mean, it was shared. Maybe some communication gap. So that is anything. I spoke to sir. So sir will show it. I mean, he'll allow everyone. I mean, second allow everyone in the second semester students. Okay. Okay. There was some communication gap or something. Okay. Now, because see, this is just a 4 days class, so already 1 day is gone. Today is the second day, and tomorrow is third day. You tell, and the next is on 3rd of January. Okay, so please tell all the batchmates to join tomorrow because I'll show you how the synopsis looks like. That is very
Okay, ma'am. We will do so.
important. Okay, so that is yes. Uh, So, important. It gives a certain entry point to your report. That is what is very important. Similarly, then after the introduction, you have the literature review, and then after in the literature review, you can mention the gap and then your aims and objectives of the study. So it should be limited to maximum 4. Otherwise, you limit your objectives to 2 to 3. Don't increase your aims and objectives. Then research methodology, that is how do do the research, so primary sources or secondary sources and all. Then comes the analysis, data analysis and finding, followed by conclusion, and at the end is the reference. Okay, so writing an introduction is important as it gives a certain entry point to your report, and similarly a conclusion helps you basically to wind up your report and enables you to tie up various loose ends. Your report should not read like an assemble of different sections, but should be an integrated and structured whole. Okay, that's what is important. And you should divide your report into sections, as I told you, and subsections, so it would be easier, but make sure that they do not read like different pieces independent of each other. When you write a subsection, that means they should be related. Don't bring other topics in that or something. Well, there should be a continuity in that, what I mean to say. Subsection, section, and subsection means the continuity has to be there. Okay, they should be related to each other. And uh, yes, they should relate to each other and should form parts of your report. And wherever you have made any arguments, all your arguments should be neatly tied and logically culminated at the end of each section and again in your um, conclusion. Okay, because at conclusion you have to mention, this is very important, all your arguments should be neatly tied and logically culminated at the end of each section and again in your conclusion. It should be whatever you have find out, your findings and all that should be mentioned in your conclusion. Okay, so this was the thing, and you have your whatever your objectives were there, you could accomplish your objectives. That should be there in your conclusion part. So at the same time, the interconnections between different sections should be clearly maintained. And you should write in your own language. You should use simple words and short sentences as far as possible. And a report written in a language not easily comprehensible often distance the readers from the contents of the report. So you should write in a very simple language. Don't use jargons. Use simple language so it is easily. And I told you it should focus more on facts, figures, illustrations, diagrams, then maps, then your different types of charts and all. See, what I mean to say, suppose why I told that, suppose I'm doing a project, okay, and I have doing on, suppose I'm doing on Goa, okay. So I can show the map on Goa, so it would be visible. Oh, this is the part where the study is being done. So similarly, if you wanted to do something like you have a different location, you can do the map of that country, and you can particular location you can highlight, so that on this particular location the study is being done. Okay. At the same time, the interconnections between different sections should be clearly maintained, and you should write in your own language, yes, using simple words and short sentences as early as possible. Okay, and it should not have, it should not be a complex one. It should be simple words. Treat your language a potent medium to communicate your ideas. Yes, that is very important. Whatever ideas you have, that you should project through your report. Okay, the project will be assessed on the strength of your methodology and ideas. So two things are very important when you do your project. You should remember two things are very important when you do your project. What are they? One is the your aims and objectives, and the thing is that methodology, how you carried on the methodology. And at the end, you should be able to justify that. That is what is very important. Okay. So while you should not copy from other books or articles, citations are a legitimate exercise. So it should be ethical. See, suppose I have written a paper and you think that paper would help you in your project. So you have to quote, this is the author and she has mentioned or from this particular journal and the publication date. I'll show you the reference when you will come to me. First you have to mention name of the author, then which year, then the name of the journal. The journal has 11 to 15 chapters. Then the name of the first the name of the chapter, then the name of the journal, and pages also. You can, if it is, there's some ISBN number, or ISBN number is basically for the books, and for journal for journals you have ISBN is for the books, and for journals it is ISBN is for books, and for journals it is ISNN. ISSN, that is the number. Okay, so that is it is ISSN stands for International Standard Serial Number. Okay, so that you should mention. Now you see, I understand you all have gone through journals or something you all have read. Okay, but you all haven't noticed all these things. But now you ensure to notice all these things. This is very important. You are going through a journal. I want today all of you should go through a journal, okay, journal paper. So you read the journal, you see what is the ISSN number, that is International Standard Serial Number. One number is mentioned. Then the name of the journal, okay. Then the chapter, then the page number. So sometimes there's volume also. So you should mention all this. So two things are very important. You should remember, that is the aims and objectives of the topic of the theme, as well as methodology, because a good researcher's main, how would I know he or she is a good researcher, good project report, I should first try to see the methodology. Whenever whenever um, uh, your project report is first evaluated, you'll see the topic, then some keywords, and what's your aims and objective, and your methodology. How the aims and objectives that you have mentioned, that is being properly, justified through the methodology that has been undertaken. So that is very important. Okay. So, well, you should not copy from other books, articles, etc. Citations and legitimate exercise. So, as I told you, you have to mention all this, because citations, they form very important. It's very it should be ethical. So, wherever you have taken any help from any journals, you should quote the authors as well as the journal details. Right? Please observe the following instructions. The quotation should be relevant and the language should be that of the author. Now, if the author has mentioned something, then you should mention within the inverted comma. As quoted by so and so author, you can mention the date, and it should be within the inverted comma. But yes, if you want to change the sentence, you can do the sentence change, because otherwise they will show it in the plagiarism. If you don't put it in the inverted comma, then it will show in the plagiarism that you have copied them. But if you don't want to put in the plagiarism, then you have to change the sentence. Okay, but the meaning should remain the same. Don't you change the sentence and the meaning goes different? Don't do that. The meaning should remain same, and it should be, but the sentence should be changed. So, while you should not copy from other books, articles, etc., citations are a legitimate exercise. Please observe the following instructions. The quotation should be relevant and the language should be that of the author. At the end of the quote, you should mention within the brackets the name of the author and the title of the book, along with the year and the place of publication and the page numbers. As I have mentioned, you have to mention all the details of the um, journals or books or magazines, even newspapers, and even you can also share the link website, www. So they'll come to when you have retrieved that. Also, you can mention. Suppose you have retrieved this journal. Suppose you have already collected, you have already decided a topic, and maybe you have retrieved that link. I mean, you have went to some article from the Google, which you have retrieved on today. So you have to mention this retrieved on this date. Okay, so this is very important. Now, in case you have quoted from a newspaper, journal, give the publication. In case you have quoted from a newspaper, magazine, or journal, give the name of the magazine, journal, the number of the issue, and the monthly year of its publication. And you should also avoid lengthy quotes. That is what is very important. Okay, and brief quotes often beautifully stress the point and blend easily into your text. That is very important. A quote roughly of the size of about 50 to 100 words is quite reasonable. So suppose you wanted to quote someone, he, the author has mentioned, so and so. That should not exceed more than 100 words. It should be 50 to 100 words. Okay. So here is an example of a quote, like who are the travelers and the tourists. Webster's New Collegiate Dictionary defines a tourist as one who makes tour for pleasure or culture. A 19th century dictionary had a more interesting definition. Look, people visit to do an event for the joy of boasting about it afterwards. So, see this they have mentioned. Donald E. Lindbergh, comma, The Tourist Business, 6th edition, New York, 1980. Where now here they have quoted it. There are lot types of different types of quotation. So you use the APA, okay? That is the APA's full form is American. What is the full form of APA? APA. We have to use you use the APA style. Remember that APA style is APA is basically American. Wait, I'll just tell you particular thing. So you have to use all those. Okay. That is these are few more points that you should always remember. And I want yes these you should very I mean you should take care of all this. Now you see you have to yes, American APA style you mentioned. When you do the referencing, it should be in the APA style. There are different styles also. You know how to write the references, but you should do the APA style. That is the American Psychological Association. So you should use that style. So yes, once your report is prepared and you should make two copies. Obviously, if you print, if you have a hard copy, that is very important. But I think since I was talking to Kabiru, I said that he it's there in the dashboard. You have to upload that. So you keep the soft copy and to the coordinator, Ignos coordinator, and you should print a hard copy and keep it for your own reference. Okay. So, and you should always remember when we are doing a project, you should always remember that research methodology day by day is very becoming very one of the essential features of to undergo any study, and is becoming more important not only in the area of the study, not only in the area of the study, but also at the same time it's also in the area of administration and management. And at the same time, now because on account of global competition, traditional administrative and managerial practices has undergone several changes, and this has made research methodology more relevant than before. So it has become the integral part of the analytical system, and especially activities in business organization, government organized, and other sector are becoming more research oriented. See, now for example, if you go through any, what I was, I mean, any institutes, research institutes, people, it's becoming very important day by day, and therefore, especially the government organizations, and there are other business organizations, they are becoming more research oriented. Okay, because then you get the clarity, and of course there are a lot of policies also. The research should be very ethical in the sense it should not be copied from other sources, and wherever you can always take the reference, but you should cite them properly, that is quote them properly. Okay, so no policy can be decided by any of the organization without collecting relevant facts and analyzing them. As I told you, you should go through the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India's website. You'll come to know a lot of information, with relevant facts, figures, and all related to tourism. And as a student of tourism, I think it's mandatory for you to go through the website. Then you will have a lot of inputs, how to do, where to do, what to search for. These are very important. And of course, you know, The fact is also proved by providing the budget for research in the organization, and there is also many organizations who have R and R&D department. What do you mean by R&D department? Research and development in the organization, especially in many um, companies which are in the production, companies which are in the production, special and universities, they are all in the research and development, because universities, professors, they do need to do a lot of research, and so there's a separate department which is known as the R&D department, research and development. Okay, even the organizations, some even all these medical companies and all. Okay, so and there are a lot of books on research methodology. You can always read it, and you can download from the Google. You can just go through the topics I have written. What do you mean by introduction of a research? What do you mean by research? I mean literature review of a research. Separately, what do you mean by the aims and objectives of the research? What do you mean by hypothesis? Then, what do you mean by um, research methodology? What do you mean by analysis and findings of the research method? How do you prepare the conclusion of a research? So once you go through all this, you will have a rough idea of how it is prepared. Okay, that is very important. And of course, there are a lot of books on research methodology, especially in we are in the area of social sciences. That is, you can go through the tourism sites and all tourism sites. You have lot of informations over there, and you should analyze the problem as simple as possible. And of course, it's always a modest. It's always you can see it gives a recognition to the authors, to the when you sign their papers, so that is very important. Even if it's a modest contribution from your side to the paper or to the system or to the society. So always ensure that your output should be very much valuable, not only to yourself but also for the society. Now, this is whole I have covered yesterday, like how the analysis and research proposal has to be done. Then then how the project report has to be prepared, and so you all attend tomorrow's class. I'll show you what exactly how the synopsis is being done. I'll show you one synopsis, so that you can have an idea how it is being done. That is what is very important. Okay, and always remember, even it's a very small contribution, but yes, it's a contribution to the knowledge of tourism studies that you have given your effort for, and also to the society. Okay, basically when we talk about research design, it is always about the methodology. Like if you can say what do you mean by this, if you wanted to say what do you mean by research methodology, then I would say research methodology is basically how you design the research, like how you design the research. Then what is the sample design, means how we take the samples. Then what are the methods of data collection, like primary sources as well as secondary sources. And in primary data collection, there were also observation methods and all. So then interview method. So this has to be collect very, and that is what is very important. Okay, and yes, once you have the data, as I told you, once you have the primary data, you should have both primary data as well as secondary data. And once you have the primary data, collected through questionnaire, proper framed questionnaire, and whatever data you collect, that has to be processed. That is like presentation of data, how it is made through proper. You have to code it, edit it, code it. So that is what is very important. Okay, and yes, hypothesis you can include. Hypothesis basically is like, the word hypothesis means assumption. So what hypothesis you have taken, does that justifies the findings you have got? So that is what hypothesis you have to acknowledge it. Either you have, it is yes, you are right, no. So that is how it is being. That is what is very important. And yes, not much into yes. You can give some, whatever applications you have used, computers, what is the use of computers in that. Because today, if you see, and on this project report, you can also upload. And tomorrow, if you have a proper project report done, you can always upload in the website, and people will, you can have a Google Scholar Orchid ID. You can upload your or ResearchGate. If you have to log in and through ResearchGate. Okay, you can sign in. You have to sign in through ResearchGate, and after, once your project report is prepared, you can, and it is approved and everything done, evaluate. I mean, when it is evaluated, you can upload that research paper, I mean, project report. So later on, other computer users may cite it, researchers may also cite it. So my objective is to, um, you have to, whatever you do, you should contribute. I mean, it should benefit you. At the same time, you should contribute something to the society. That is what is very important. Okay, so basically, uh, you have to do a little bit of hard work in the project report. And whenever you have any questions or doubts as such, you can always share with me. Kabiru, are you there? Yes. Ahmed, Kabiru, do you have any question?
Yes, ma'am. I'm there. I'm here.
Tell me. Uh,
Okay. Is there talking about the hypothesis?
mm,
Uh, is there a point where you can just come up with a research that has no hypothesis?
okay.
Because there was a time that I was
So,
learning about this research project, I mean, and when I comes to hypothesis, I see that there is an alternate hypothesis and also a null hypothesis, which is HA and HO. Could you please make
null
a difference
hypothesis,
between the two?
alternate hypothesis. Huh. Yes. Hmm. Tell, sorry. Huh. What were you telling?
Okay, yeah,
Hmm.
what I'd like to say here is a question: is what is the difference between the two, please?
Acha, what is the difference between the two hypotheses? Huh? See, see, the thing is that you you say, for example, you have a statement. So one, you have to justify that no, you are right. So you are in favor of that. And another is the reject, that is alternate, that is you do not, whatever your assumption. Hypothesis, what does the word hypothesis means? Hypothesis basically, you have an assumption. So you are carrying out this research work, and you are in favor this will happen, and another will, it may not happen. Okay, so you have to justify. But what I would suggest you little bit, I mean, in your project, hypothesis is not mentioned. Like, don't go for the hypothesis, because that's another. I mean, okay, if you wanted to go in details, that is not. But what I would suggest you, you have the aims and objectives. You have to justify. This is your objective, and through these findings, you have. I mean, you have justified the objective or the aim of your people. Okay. Hypothesis, as what there are two. One is the null hypothesis, the alternative hypothesis. One minute. Types of hypothesis to the case. One second. Hypothesis critical accuracy. I'll just tell you 1 minute. See in your project report, because I was going through, they haven't mentioned about the hypothesis. Hypothesis. They haven't mentioned about the hypothesis, because hypothesis you have to do a little bit of yes, it basically your predictions, as I told you, in research or in the project work, you have to find something new. So hypothesis basically it says that whatever predictions your predictions you have made, you have to find what that predictions or what the research will find. It can be yes or it can be no. So there is always a tentative answer to your research question, and that has to be tested basically. So I don't think in project you have to test that. You can do a project, so you don't go for the hypothesis and all. But yes, later on, we have to go whenever you want to do a big research project or something, there the hypothesis is very much required. But this is a small project report you need to do, so you need not concern about the hypothesis and then sometimes you
Okay,
have to
man.
do. Okay, but
I
otherwise I
understand
can
now,
make you
but
understand. Yes. Tell me.
the thing here is that since we are going to write on this small project, meaning that we are not going to, oh, I can say we are going to use a null hypothesis. We cannot be able to, or I can say we can't use the hypothesis as well.
Null.
Yeah, that's null
Yes, null
hypothesis.
hypothesis, what you are saying. Okay.
Since you made mention that
Yes, that is indeed.
since you made mention that it is just a prediction of the outcome of the project of the, I mean, the research, the outcome, or I can
Mm-hmm.
say the prediction of the outcome of the research. So mean that if this one has no any, I can say we are going to use the null hypothesis in the sense that the project is not that kind of big project or something like that.
Very good. Yes. So you have an idea. So that is basically. But yes, you should make your two things. A few things you should remember. The thing is that your aims and objectives should be very. Aims and objectives should be framed in such a manner which justifies your statement also. When it's through your statement, whenever you have a topic statement in the sense, sorry, the topic like the theme, so that aims and objectives should be related to the theme, to the topic. It's not like that the topic is one whereas your aims and objective is are of a different variant. It should not be. So you have a topic, and in that topic your aims and objectives should match. Okay, that is what I mean. So whenever you make a topic, whenever you
Yes,
design a
ma'am.
topic, you have to focus on the aims and objectives. And second thing is research methodology, because whenever you submit a project, they would first see what is the topic, what is the aim and objectives, and your research methodology. That is, methodology is how you have designed. So you have to design in such a manner so that it justifies your statement. You have used this, and this is to the questionnaire. You have to find out the satisfaction level, or you have to measure the satisfaction level of the customers or the visitors, because this is promotion, project tourist marketing of tourism products like something. So when we market any tourism product, you have to see what is the customer's perception, or what is the tourist perception, and how far they are going to justify that they whether they are happy, satisfied or dissatisfied. So you have to measure that. So you have to do the measurement through different charts, diagrams and charts and all. So you have to it has to be measured in Likert scale. That I haven't mentioned today. I forgot to say. So that when you have the questionnaire, I'll get the tomorrow. I'll do two things. I'll show you the synopsis. So whatever today I showed you, like what the topic is all about, how to go on. For tomorrow, I'll show you about the practical. I'll get a synopsis. I'll try to show you the synopsis, how the questionnaire is being made, how the questionnaire looks like, and there's a Likert scale. Likert scale, it's like it is like it can be on 5 or it can be 7, but you try to use on 5. 5 means very satisfied, satisfied, neither satisfied, not satisfied was very good, then good, then middle one is uh, neither good nor bad, fourth is poor, fifth is very poor. Got the understood? This is how the Likert scale is uh, done. I mean measured. So
Yes, ma'am.
are
Yeah, we
you
understand that.
satisfied? Very satisfied? Then very very satisfied or very satisfied, neither satisfied nor dissatisfied. That is, then the fourth one comes dissatisfied. The last one is very dissatisfied. It should be in 5 like it, whatever. So tomorrow, what our session will be, we'll try to show it on questionnaire method. I'll show you the synopsis, then you'll come to. And yes, there you should also mention about the key. Uh, 5 minutes. 5 minutes. And you should also mention about the key terms, because that is very much important. Key terms, okay? Key terms, first you have to write the synopsis. So, key terms means those important terms like suppose you write tourism, then you write marketing, then you write destination. So through the key points, you can easily those are the words which has the maximum number of presence in your paper. So those are basically the key terms. So you should, like, yours is suppose tourism. Yes, I'll get the topics also tomorrow. 5 6 topics like tourism, like marketing of a destination, or flora and fauna, how to make the customer satisfied, on a particular, if they go to a wildlife sanctuary. So these all things can be mentioned. Like, these are the things tomorrow I have to mention. Any other questions you have, Kabiru? Do you have
From my
any other
side,
question?
no, ma'am. From my side, there's no any question because the time I can say yesterday, the time you made mention of the research, I
Mm.
have gone through a lot of research where I studied the
Okay,
component
very
of
good.
the research, and also I got the component of chapter one to up to chapter five. So I can say I have learned a lot from the research, I can say journey. So I think this is the
Mm.
question that have I can say asked.
Mhm.
I have been just trying to, I can say, ask, and I had the explanation, and I can say thank you for your detailed
Very good.
explanation, man.
No, it's very good, because my detailed explanation is okay, but at the same time, I want my students also to know something. They should also do, because as I told you, this is not a simple, like, studying a particular topic, and course, and then writing the exams, submitting the assignments, and writing the papers, because you have to do something of your own, contribute something of your own. You have to find something new. So in that perspective, you have to go through the review of the literature. Once you know the review of literature, then you will come to know what is literature, how it would help in, help to like assist you in finding something new related to your topic. So in that case, you should also do some studies also. It's not simple. Just going through a topic and just writing copy paste, because it should be very ethical. Okay, so I am very happy that you did some ground level work, because you have to do some ground level work. You have to some prepare, because you might be having some queries, like today you asked about the hypothesis. I know it is very important, but yes, you can go for the null hypothesis. And the thing is that once you come prepared, no, then you can ask me the questions, or if you have any other queries, I'll try my best to get an answer for that what matters. Okay, so
Okay, man. Thank you very much, man.
okay, thank you, Kaberu. And tell your friends once again, Ahmad is there. um, Zamzami. Abdullah is there. Zamzami is there. So how are you all? All are good. Ahmad and Zamzami. So I want that uh,
Yeah,
you
hi.
you be you please attend the classes. It would help you. That is what is very much necessary. And come prepared. I hope whatever I have shared with you, that would be to some extent that would be helpful to you, right?
Thank you, ma'am.
Wait, wait, wait. Okay, one sec, 1 minute. So, any queries, you come prepared for tomorrow. Okay. Have a good day. Okay. Okay. Thank you, all of you.
Okay, ma'am.
Hmm.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Have a safe journey, ma'am.
Tell me. Oh, I have already reached. I told you, no. My train was yesterday
Yeah.
night. It was supposed to come, but it came today morning. It was running 12 hours. The train actually came from Delhi and a capital city,
Okay.
New Delhi.
Okay.
And there is so
Yeah.
much fog over there that the train started only late. I mean, it started 9 hours behind. So that is what happened. So
Okay.
I was supposed to reach today early morning, but I reached in the afternoon. But anyway, I am also
Okay,
happy that
ma'am.
I was able to take your class. So you take care, huh? All of you. Okay, bye. Take care. Thank
That's
you.
okay, ma'am. Thank you very
Okay.
much. Bye.
Please join tomorrow, all of you. Okay, thank you. Take care.
Thank you. Goodbye. Ahmad, hello. Ahmad, are you hearing me? Ahmad.